So what we got on today, Pete is doing MOT work on the Skoda Fabia. We've got Craig in from Custom Valets cleaning the gold Nissan Note we got the other day, which was absolutely hanging. So we'll see how we can make this sparkle by the end of the day. And then I have a car I sold a month ago for a gentleman, 2011 Kia Rio. He says the CD player is playing up. Now I don't actually warranty audio equipment on cars below £4,000 and over 12 years old, so theoretically I don't need to be doing this job, but nice old boy, he flagged it straight away and he still listens to CDs, so it wasn't massively expensive to get hold of another stereo. And again, keeping a happy customer might get me a recommendation, so we're going to get on and swap that out this morning. And looks like this panel here clips in behind. I'll have a quick look on YouTube, but I'll just swap that, but it looks all it comes out from behind, so it might mean that these trims need to come out as well up here possibly. We'll have a look, see and see how we get on. Right, so put a trim tool down the side of the inside edge of these plastics down there, and if you're gentle they'll pop out. We can now see that to get the stereo out we're going to have to undo, at least loosen these two bolts off down here to get the head unit out. So we'll get cracking with that. Just Phillips by the looks of it, nice and simple. There we go, all working nicely. We'll pop that back together for him, and he can get playing his CDs again now, can't he? He loves the little Bluetooth thing I put in for him as well, because his local radio station's moved away from DAB, and the only way he can do it is streaming it from his phone, so that works really well. These, I'll put an Amazon link to these on my channel, on my on the description. If you've got a car that's got an auxiliary input and a USB input, I highly recommend these U-green ones here. You can skip and play tracks, you can answer calls, and the mic's really good. So it acts like a Bluetooth if you've got a car without Bluetooth. I'll put a link to that in the video description. Very good if you're getting kids first time cars, you get them the older cars that don't have the Bluetooth but do have an auxiliary and a USB input. These are ideal. I'll also put a link for the U-green one where you've just got, if you've just got a jack plug, you've just got a USB auxiliary input, but you haven't got a USB, that they work really well as well. So I'll put a link to that as well. So our S-Cross from the previous video has gone in for MOT and it has failed. It's failed for a seatbelt webbing, needs to be done, that's frayed. It failed for, had an advisory for a tyre, had a fail for a number plate bulb, and what was the other thing? Also needs rear brake pads. So what we should do is hop on AutoDoc and find ourselves some rear brake pads for it, so that we know we're getting the best value we can. We have our last delivery in here of Comma oil for servicing from AutoDoc. So now, like I say, we'll hop on board, and I think we'll probably order a service kit for this at the same time. All the disc and pads for the rear and the oil and filters. So we'll bring up the AutoDoc app on my phone. We will add a new vehicle. I'm back as a Suzuki. We're going to search for rear brake pads. We can get a set of Ridex brake pads for the rear axle for just £13.49. Bargain. Now we'll look for our oil. And we can get 4 litres of Castrol for just £30. Let's add that. So for an oil filter, get a Ridex one for just £5.59. And then we'll grab an air filter. £7.99. Because people complain I don't do them often enough, let's do a pollen filter. £5.99. So we go to the shopping cart, all of that is just £63.55. That's for the oil, the pollen filter, the oil filter, the air filter, and a set of brake pads. Absolute bargain. The great news is, if you go to the bottom of the shopping cart there, and you put in the coupon code CHOPSGarage, apply that, you get a nice 5% discount. So if you need servicing items and parts, make sure you get that AutoDoc app downloaded to your phone. Use that Chops Garage discount code and get the best value you can. I want to thank AutoDoc for being a continuous sponsor of Chops Garage. So this is why you get the professionals in with a car like this. Look at the job Craig's done on the Nissan. It looks brilliant. Today we are mainly rescuing a Nissan Note that has been sat for a donkey's age. Look at all this. Got that dent on the front wing there, but other than that, it's really tidy. There was no way of telling, and we have got some crazing in the lacquer here, and I think I spotted some up there. But overall it's tidy. There was no way of telling based on how filthy it was and how much green mould there was on it as to how tidy it was underneath. There's obviously a bit of curbing on the outside of the alloys, but overall the alloys are alright. There's a bit of a ding there, but it presents really well for a 2010 car. Interiors come up really nice. You've got the traditional baggy door cards, which you always seem to get on Nissan Notes. I don't know why. Well, I do. The glues must go off on them. But yeah, it's come up really nicely. Really nicely. Wasn't cheap. I think it's cost me £100 to have this done. Which again, it's always another thing you could do yourself. But the time while he's been doing this, we've been doing other things. Doing warranty repairs and other bits and bobs. So we can't get it all done ourselves. But yeah, I reckon that's looking all right, that. But now we need to find out how much it's going to cost to get it for an MOT. Yeah, I'm thinking with a fresh MOT on that and oil and filter service we need to do, because it's been sitting, we don't know, it has got a full service history, but it has been sitting, so it's best to do oil and filters. I think it's got to be worth 2,495 of anyone's money, that, I'd say. And these do stand a record for, and I'm going to jinx myself saying it now, the only car that I've never had a warranty claim on, and that's not because I haven't sold many. I've sold tons of the damn things. So new one on me here, Honda HRV. Just got this off another dealer because the miles were a bit too high for him. Well, they're not high for me at all. It's 64,000 miles on it. 1.6 diesel, good history. Nicely kitted out, this one. It's got a full pan roof. It's got leather, sat nav, cruise control, lane assist, Bluetooth, heated seats, all the bits and bobs you'd want. Really, really good condition. It's been really well looked after. This bodywork's fantastic. Interior's fantastic. It's got a big old boot on it for the size of the car. Big old boot. I'm interested to see how well this sells. 10,995 is sort of Auto Trader recommended retail on this. So it is at the very higher end of the kind of market I normally do. But you all keep telling me that if I do these newer cars, I won't have so many problems. I'm not so sure about that. We'll see. He's back. We keep turning him away, but he keeps turning up and stealing cars. He's off to Plymouth with a subscriber's car, VW up. The subscriber came on site, viewed the car, made payment in full. So this isn't a distant sale. He's opted to pay Adrian to drop it down to him. So that's where he's off to, down to Plymouth. Lovely mate. We got this car from a subscriber, only 30,000 miles on. Subscriber saw it on the channel and popped along and bought it. So again, nice sort of thing there, going from subscriber to subscriber. So we'll let Adrian get off because we've got a crap load of stuff on today. Right, so we've got a mini Countryman on the ramp. That's been down for MOT. And it went straight through its MOT, but as you know, we do advisory free MOTs here, and the advisories were front tyres and is that the front tyre off this, Pete?
Yeah.
Oh, why is it? That's got loads of tread on it.
Yeah.
That's got tons and tons of tread on it.
So why is, I just want to look at the back of it.
All right, we'll have a look at those. They must be talking about the edge wear here. They don't look like they're throwing. I might speak to the customer about that. Anyway, one of the advisories was the bushings on the rear of the arms at the front here, which are these funny oil-filled ones we found. So Pete's just in the process of swapping those out, and then we can get it. We won't do a retest on it. We'll just give customer the invoices for the stuff to prove that it's been done. And yeah, that's really sorry. That's thrown me with that tyre. That's like got no miles on it at all there. Right, my bad. It was just the one tyre that was advised. This tyre looks like it's pretty much new. This is the tyre that was advised for wear on the edge, and that one is coming up towards. It stops there as well. Normally I do the tyres in pairs, but if I can get the same brand as this one, and this one's so close to being a new tyre, I'm just going to do that, I think. So nice new bit of stocking via part exchange from a lovely local couple that had the mini Countryman that I lost a ton on, so hopefully I can make a bit of money on that part exchange off. So I lost quite a bit on their mini, getting it ready properly. This is really nice bit of simple motoring, isn't it? A Dacia Duster. We sell a lot of them. Not sold one quite this new before. 19 plate. Got a good service history, and it's only got 50 odd thousand miles on it. But they needed an automatic. And she loves her mini, so she wanted to get back into a mini. 54853, they're kept in lovely condition. All the fabrics are good. Bodywork's really good. drives lovely. We've got cruise control, Bluetooth, aircon. We haven't got any sat nav, anything like that. Maybe it might be worthwhile upgrading that unit there, or to be honest, most people have got sat nav on their phone now, haven't they? And it's better than what you get in the car, so maybe that's not such an issue. Yeah, I do like a Dacia Duster. Nice, simple engineering, simple motoring. Round here in North Devon, they're the perfect little hack for the lanes. So we will get that washed up, obviously fresh MOT, check it all over, get it up for sale. And like I say, hopefully it'll go some way to contribute to helping me get a bit of money back on the Mini. So we got our Mercedes CLA back from Moores. If you remember, we had to put an engine in this car. Engine went bang after putting a new turbo on it. Turned out it had a very poor service and that kind of stuff. So we got a lower mileage engine at the same car. So although the mileage on this thing say it's 90,000, I think the engine is about 70,000. A few little things to iron out. I think at some point, either when the bumper was off and the engine was out, or when the engine went bang, the pedestrian airbags went off, as in the ones for the bonnet. There's these little things here. They sit either side. You see that one there is out. And what they do is push the bonnet up in an accident to help prevent injuries to pedestrians. So we've got a code on the dashboard for these. They can't be reset, not that I'm aware of. So we had to buy a couple more, and Petey's in the process of putting those on now. So this is how they should look. They shouldn't have that little bit there poking out. It should be down like that. Now I did have some advice from our friend Ben. I'll put a link to his channel down below. Works with Joe at Shifting Metal. He said make sure you get one of these at the same time, which is a pedestrian sensor for the front. It works off vacuum with two little something. Usually once it's either side. He said if you've got a pinhole in that, it will set them off. Now we don't think that's the situation with R1, because we kind of know what happened with R1. So we're just going to connect one, make sure the one doesn't go off, because that'll save us taking the whole front bumper off and doing all that hours of labour into that. So we're going to try plugging one in, see if we've got a code for just one being bad. If we have, then we'll put the other one in. Obviously, if that one does go off, and Ben can say, you're right, I was right all along. If that one does go off, then we'll have to still buy another one. But we'll know that we have to take the time to take the bumper off and replace that tubing and piping as well. So I'll let you know how we're getting on a bit. But obviously this is not going to make money. I don't think it can even break even. I don't think currently at the current retail value of the car. It's just about a case of putting the cash back in the bank off of this one, putting it into something else that hopefully can make up for a bit of loss off this and make a bit of money on itself. It's funny, isn't it? Because when you put a car up for a price and it's got good profit in it, you get all kinds of comments saying how your dealers are robbers and this, that and the other. But when you put a video showing that you're losing money on a car, no one ever has as much to say, do they? They would quite happily take the profit from the profitable ones, but they wouldn't want to get involved in the ones that don't make you money. They don't understand that's why the ones that do make money have to cover ones like this. Well, that's it. It doesn't look like we need to eat humble pie with Ben, because the codes have cleared for the pedestrian sensors, and that hopefully is the last thing we need to do on the Mercedes before we get it up for sale. Well, I want to refurb a couple of alloys because they're diamond cut as normal. Have some what's on them? That one's good. Which one do I want to do? I wanted to do that one there. Yeah, that one's got some bad ones on it. Should I photograph it first and get it up for sale before I do that? I don't know. Bloody lacquer peel as always on these wheels. Obviously I can't be paying out for someone to come and diamond cut them, because that's big money. At the best of times I can't afford for that to be done, so on this one for sure I can't. So someone will end up getting a very sorted CLA for less money than I've spent on it. Yeah, in this game you really can't look at cars individually. You need to look at overall. Are you making money overall? Obviously I am making money overall, because all the lights are still on and the doors are still open and Pete's still in biscuits. Anyway, as always, massive thanks for watching my ramblings. Don't forget the latest raffle is running, and we are working with the charity Break on this one, which is obviously highly appropriate for us. It's about road safety. I think it's specifically helping youngsters when they first start driving, try and improve the, reduce the rates of accidents there. And also in the corner here, we still have the raffle running for the little electric bike, which seems to have been used for holding microfibers. Little basket in the back. There you go. That's how practical it is. Little foldable electric trike. And this one is to help our friend Kev, who's supporting a charity called Blesma, which is for disabled veterans. He himself is disabled now, can hardly walk, but he's going to walk 6 miles on a walker, a walking frame, wheeled walking frame, of course, and to try and raise money for Blesma. And there is a raffle, 100% of the proceeds from that raffle will go to Kev's charity. So get involved in that as well if you can afford to. I'll put a link to it in the video description down below. I need to get sweeping these leaves out of here.